Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mohammed, and welcome to another episode of Rendezvous on CxO Global TV, presented by CxO Global Forum. Today, we have our esteemed guest, Mr. Hussan Khokhar, with us, who is Senior General Manager as well as Export Strategy Advisor. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this wonderful session, and it's a pleasure to be here to talk about the Pakistan economy, to talk about the export, which is uh, nowadays this is the most important topic to discuss, in particular the Pakistan economy.
Right. So, sir, before getting into our discussion, I would like you to tell us, our viewers, about you, your early days of your career and the struggle you've gone through. Please share your experience with us.
Yeah, sure. Let me update. My name is Hassan. So the spells are the same. It was a
All
typo
right.
error in my early documentation. I have to follow. The pronunciation is Hassan.
All
And
right.
in fact, I'm basically from Multan. I born in Multan. I have done my bachelor in Multan, and because of the blessing from my Almighty Allah, they gave me the opportunity to work with one of the leading company. I started my career with the pharma division of Johnson and Johnson in Multan. Even my graduation result was yet to be announced, and I got this opportunity to work with some highly professional people. I worked there for around 3 years. It was my first job, in fact, and because of this, I could not start my master degree in Multan because at this moment my priority was to work with a company to gain the experience, and for sure there is a financial reason as well.
Right.
And after 3 years, I for more better prospects, I moved to Karachi, and it was really an exciting and surprising experience of my life and my career as well. And I joined Novartis Pharma in Karachi, and Karachi market, is quite different from the other part of the Pakistan, specifically if we talk about 20 years ago, because I moved to Karachi 20 years ago. But again, I found Karachi more professional as compared to the other part of the Pakistan, specifically at that moment. Not now; things
Right.
have been improved a lot in Lahore, in Islamabad. But that time, because industry was in Karachi, and most of the companies, in fact, I think more than 90% of the companies have their headquarters in Karachi. That's the reason Karachi was more into the business. More people were more professional, and because this is a seaport as well. And I worked with the Novartis Pharma for around 4 years. It was my wonderful career. I have grown up with the company. I have won some wonderful awards. In fact, I have introduced one of the best activity, which is still ongoing. It's a BMD activity, bone mineral density, which is a calcium supplement for this now. And that is my career with. Then I joined Dalda Foods in Karachi as a area sales manager, and that was another experiment in my career. I was working with pharma, and then I joined Dalda. It was purely an FMCG. Within Dalda, I learned a lot about the consumer market, and within Dalda, I worked almost in every major city in Pakistan. I have been based in Karachi. Then I got promoted as a regional operation manager for Multan region. Then I promoted as a regional sales head for, but with the transfer to the Sakhar, I worked in Sakhar. I was looking after the entire Sindh and Balochistan. And during the Dalda time, I got an opportunity to secure a scholarship program, which is so it's a Fulbright scholarship program in 2010. It was a mid-career professional. It's not a PhD program or master program. It's a mid-career professionals program in retail management.
Right.
It was 2 semester long program, but I got able to get only 6 months leave, unpaid leave from Dalda, and then I went for this program. It was again a new learning for me in US. Then I come back, and after few months I left and I moved to Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, my major experience is with Bin Dawood Retail. which is one of the largest retailer in the western part of Saudi Arabia. And then I moved back in Pakistan in 2016. I stayed some time. I have done some short-term assignments with the Packages Mall and Cakes and Bakes. And then I joined KNN's in 2017 in Karachi as a chief of global sales. And
Right.
that was a turning point, which in fact relates to my today's conversation. That was a turning point in my life and my career. Honestly speaking, I was in the business since 2000, since 1998, but I was really surprised to know when I joined the export business that the real issue of any country's economy is the trade deficit. And if any country is growing fast, if you talk about the big countries like Germany, China, Japan, and some other countries I can name it here, the reason why they are big, why their economy is stable and strong, because of the export.
True.
That was my learning that the real issue of Pakistan economy is the trade deficit, and we are importing more and we are exporting less. And like if you talk about last 3 or 4 years average, our import is double to the export. And how can the dollar, how can the Pak rupees remains stable? And how can we improve our economy when we are continuously having a current account deficit? The first 6 month figures are again very. I should not say alarming. It is very very like out of the context. If you talk about the targets of export and import, it is totally out of the context. The numbers are not very good. Our export is even now import is even more than double. Like if we talk about the last 6 month financial year figures, the Pakistan import remains 41 billion US dollar and export is hardly $19 billion. Well, we are standing at a trade deficit of 23 billion US dollar. That is the challenge. Until unless we resolve this issue, until unless we overcome this issue, the Pakistan economy cannot be improved at all. Now you can ask me the relevant question relating to this topic, please.
Sure, sir. With that long, your career with different industries, specifically in sales and marketing, please share your, your experience with that. How has this been through?
Yeah, I have been to sales and marketing from the day one, and during that time, I got an opportunity to work in retail and diversification in the industry as well. Like I worked with pharmaceuticals, I worked with purely consumer industries,
Right.
and I made some experiments in non-food, non-FMCG products as well. I think sales is the most exciting function of any company. Even it is more exciting than the marketing. Marketing is not a very innovative, very like you do lots of novel things, but sales is like you're meeting a new person every day. It is not a boring job. And the secondly, if you talk about sales, every company have the more career opportunities, growth opportunities in the sales and marketing department. And there is a hierarchy. Like you can take my example. I started from the scratch as a medical sales officer, and within a span of time, working within the organization, I got promoted. Outside the organization, I got better positions, and this is what sales. And second is basically it is very tangible thing. You can measure your results. You can measure your numbers. And by
Right.
the way, sales is the lifeline of any organization. In fact, if there is no sales, no organization can exist.
Right. So with that, I like to shift or my topic towards exports mainly. So, sir, how do you see this the vision of exports industry in Pakistan, and how do you see that it has evolved over years?
Now, let me tell you, Pakistan. Everyone used to talk about Pakistan as an agriculture-based country, and
Right.
but when you see the present export numbers, if you talk about top 10 exporter of Pakistan, you won't find any food company in top 10 exporters. And if I talk about top 20 exporters of Pakistan, no doubt it is related to the agri. The textile is the number one. Is all top 10 are related to the textile. Okay, no doubt it is again agri based. It is a crop based, no doubt. But being a like agriculture country, some of our products, some of our food products are very unique in the world. Like you talk about basmati rice, it is, you know, there is a terminology which is being discussed worldwide nowadays. It's more because of a tug of war between India and Pakistan regarding the basmati. It's basically GI. GI is geographical indication. Some of the
Right.
products, some of the products have a geographical copyrights, I must say. Like these product is produced only in a particular geographical area. I can give you an example. A few years back, there's a person who started growing basmati rice. In fact, he said it basmati in Texas, US, and Pakistan and India, they together basically uh, sue him, and they in fact proved in the court that in Texas there cannot be a basmati rice, okay, because basmati is meant only from Punjab. It is special soil. Punjab is in India and in Pakistan. And Pakistan and India together they won the case, and the guy renamed that category as a Texmati. I'm quickly giving you an example. But my point is basically being agriculture and it's lots of food related unique products like mango from Multan. The
Right.
Chonsa is the most famous product. Even lots of I cannot name all the products about the food product, but these two products. And why I'm mentioning rice? Let me tell you, around 10 or 12 years ago, the GCC and especially the Saudi Arabia is a market. They love rice. They are eating rice in the morning, during the lunch, and in the dinner. All three
Right.
times they can eat the rice. The Pakistan nation is not a rice eating country. We are wheat eating country. And the point is basically around 12 or 15 years ago, only like 80% rice was being imported in Saudi Arabia from Pakistan. But after having more focus on the Indian people and the unprofessional things happen within the processor of rice in Pakistan and exporter of the rice in Pakistan, now it have been moved upside down. The India is more than 90% having the share in Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan is less than 10%. And let me tell you, Pakistan, the biggest challenge of export, why it is not happening, why it is not growing in a way, because we are still trying to export the food products in specific, not the food only, but the textile product, not as a brand, but as a commodity. Let me tell you the number one exporter of Pakistan. The company name is. It is the data available on the website everywhere. I can share openly. It's a style textile. Style textile. They are
Right.
exporting around 430 million US dollar of value last financial year. And let me tell you, they have no own brand. They are basically private labeling for Nike, one of the biggest, sports apparel company, Nike. They are like developing the product for Reebok. They are developing the product for the Adidas. What is this? This is just a private label. Where is Pakistan? Where is the brand Pakistan? They just put, no doubt, they put on the clothing brand at the very small. It's made in Pakistan, the product of Pakistan, but the brand profitability is being earned by that big companies. Why there is no Pakistani big brand apparel brand? They have their own brand and they are being sold worldwide. I'm talking about the sports brand. I'm talking about the textile brand, and that is a challenge. And this, let me tell you another challenge. It is all about the focus. In fact, okay, I can ask you a question. Do you know the what is the name of the company? It is number one exporter in food category, but in fact, in the rice category in Pakistan, they are the number one exporter in the rice category. Do you know the name of the company?
Sir, I am afraid that I won't be able to answer you for that.
I was not aware a few years back. Let me tell you, I'm
Right.
also there's no way. The company name is Garib Sons.
Uh-huh. Right.
Garib Sons is the company name who is the biggest exporter of rice from Pakistan to the world. Okay, and they comes under top 20 exporters, but no one knows about them. Why? Because they are selling rice as a commodity. They are exporting rice as a commodity. And let me tell you, this the rise of Garib Sons being repacked in Singapore and in Dubai, and maybe it is being re-exported from Dubai and from Singapore under the name of Indian brands. You never know why they are not focused. They don't want they just need the volume. They just need the business. They damn care about the brand. And the India Gate and the Tilda, they are the leading brand in GCC from India. Okay, and that is a challenge. We want easy sales. We want easy export. We don't want to brand our product. The key challenge is until unless our manufacturer, our producers, they don't focus on the brand Pakistan, they don't focus on the branding of their own product, we will I don't think so we can achieve our export targets.
Right. Sir, since we're talking about this, or lacking in exports, so I'd like to know here that how do you think and or what strategies we can opt for in order to, enhance this or exports?
Two things. There are two ends. One is the buying end, and other is the selling end. Selling end is
Right.
in Pakistan, which I have already mentioned with the challenge. The companies, the manufacturer, and the growers and the producer. The number one challenge is whatever the challenge they overcome, it become opportunity. That's the reason I'm sharing it's an opportunity. Okay, the moment they start, the producers, growers, and manufacturing in Pakistan, they start focusing on the brand, they start focusing on the value addition of the product. I can give you the example for value addition
Sure,
right
sir.
now. I will give you, and the and the quality and standard which are required international markets. These three things we need to work from the selling side of this overall equation. Now let me talk about the buying side. Buying side is what the countries. The role of embassy in every country is very important. Let me tell you, there is a position named as commercial attaché or commercial counselor. It is a position basically which has to be in every embassy of Pakistan in every country worldwide. Like if
Right.
my embassy in US, there's a commercial attaché must be there, and there are more embassies, consulates also. The commercial attaché basic role is he or she is the salesperson of his country. He is a person, he or she is the person whose core role is to sell their country's products in country he or she is based. These are the buying end. They engage the different buyers, they engage single country exhibitions, they engage the sellers from Pakistan, they do the matchmaking, the B2B matchmaking. But unfortunately, all of our there are many good, very very good. I found because I lived in many countries, I traveled in many countries. There I found many good commercial counselor in different kind of embassy. I will not name the country name, but unfortunately, their focus is not promoting and selling the products of their own country. Their focus is somewhere else, which is not prioritized. Now they are working a lot. Ministry of Commerce is working a lot to even to bring the private professionals into this position, because currently these positions are only meant for the civil services. It's not a bad thing, but end of the day they have a targets. Like being a salesperson, I have a target of 1 month. That commercial consultant should have a target of selling his or her country products in a particular country. That is the second end. These are the two challenges. In fact, these are the two opportunities. Whenever we overcome these two things, the Pakistan exports start growing. And
Right.
this is
So,
what we are lacking.
So, since you just mentioned all the some of the challenges, I must say, where we are lacking in our exports or in growth of exports. So I'd like to know here that what do you think about these government government regulatory authorities, and what is their role in enhancing this
The role,
or
yeah.
exports?
Yeah, thank you so much. No, this the role is very important. Let me tell you, there are three or four different government bodies. They are working nowadays very actively. One is the TDAP, Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, and it comes under Ministry of Commerce. In fact, Ministry of Commerce, they do. Then there is a Chamber of Commerce in every city. They have also the role to connect with the to improve Pakistan export and economy of the country. And then there is SMEDA, Small Medium Enterprises Development Authority. They have three they help local manufacturer and exporters to grow their business in the international business. These are, and by the way, during last 5 years, since I'm like getting engaged into the export business, they are improving a lot. TDAP is doing a lot of new initiatives. Especially recently, they have done. I attended this event in TDAP Karachi. They have done, because I so far I didn't discuss about the IT export, which is again a very like fastest growing sector in Pakistan. And let me tell you, the IT export is happens in two ways. One is the software, another is the skill, the services, the freelancing. It's all about, this is again the export of services. This is more easy, by the way, as compared to the product selling, because this is soft selling. And but the government is working a lot. The senator, Mr. Owen Abbas Papi, was there, and there was e-commerce 3.0 symposium, and Pakistan is taking lots of new initiative. The TDAP, Ministry of Commerce, and the chambers, and all these other institutions, they are taking lots of new initiative. Like they are working on the e-packet. They are working on e-tijarat. In order to, the objective is basically to help a small manufacturer in a small town to sell their product internationally. And this is the platform. E-commerce is the only platform.
Right. So, sir, you just mentioned about small manufacturers, and with that, I'd like to know your thoughts on the small businesses. So, I hope you're fine. We have just lost our guest, I guess. Sir, can you hear me? Okay, we'll wait for Mr. Hassan for a while.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir.
Yeah,
No, no
please.
problem, sir. Hope you're fine. So, sir, I was asking about your, your thoughts about these small manufacturers, or I would say that startups, and how do you see them evolving, and how exactly they are enhancing export industry.
Yeah, let me tell you first of all the vision. The my vision and in fact the country's vision has to be like the way a small manufacturer or a service provider sitting in a very small town in the country, whenever he or she is developing a product, even it is a software product, IT product, even it is a product of like food product, even it is a non-food product, manufacturing product, whatever it is, the day he or she started thinking at the time of developing that product or service, that how can my product can be sold, how can my product be sold in the international market, the day he and she started thinking I'm telling you, that will be the turning point. Because we want easy sales, we want easy business. Like we just think that I'm developing this kind of a product, and I want to sell it within my area, within my city, within my region, uh, within my country. No, the vision has to be like so that they develop the product as per the international standard. Can you give me a
Right.
break, please? Can you give me a break?
Sure, sure, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be waiting for Mr. Hassan. Uh, Hopefully, he'll be back in a minute or so.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry, I was having some irritation in my throat. I took water. Thank you.
No problem, sir. No problem. You can carry on.
No, no. The point is basically whenever there is a export conversation, I become more excited.
Yes, sir. Now you can carry on.
Yeah, please. This is one of the part which I mentioned, the vision. We need to evolve. We need to review the vision of the product. And the second thing is basically I'm talking about the lots of incubation center working for the startups. There are lots of this is a national incubation center. There are lots of private incubation center are there. But unfortunately, in Pakistan, the major issue is the export. The major issue is the trade deficit. There is no export incubation center. And let me tell you, I took that initiative. I have recently set up export incubation center under the umbrella of Center for Export Excellence, and that is basically the prime. It is just a planning phase. But the objective is basically because I have some other role, full time role, which I'm engaged. That's the reason I'm unable to give time to this area. But now I'm thinking to give full time to this area. The point is basically we need to help. The export incubation center have three major role. One is basically they should help to the small medium enterprises, how they can develop and how can they market the product and services to the international markets. I'm talking about from scratch. They don't know about anything export, and this incubation center should guide them, should tell them how they can start producing a product or service of international level, international standard, and how they market and how they sell it. Number one
Right.
objective. Number two is basically the part of this incubation center is the export accelerator program. The accelerator program is basically is for the existing exporters, the exporters who are already exporting, who are already selling their products in the international markets, but they really want to grow, they want to accelerate their export. And number three is the export automation. How can we use the technology to automate the process? Export process is not easy. There's a lots of things involved in the export business. That is the point. We need to automate the entire process. There's lots of manual things. Even as of today, you will be surprised how many documents you make for one single export order. You cannot count them,
Right.
and there is lots of challenges in other departments. That's objective. And for this, Pakistan customer is doing a lot. Recently, they have launched Pakistan single window. The Pakistan single window objective is to basically to connect all the departments which are involved in one export order and to make documentation from manual to the automation to the digitization. These things are happening, and these are the things which have to be done. And this incubation center, export incubation center, is shouldn't be the physical. It is a hybrid kind of a thing. It has to be a two type of. It's a kind of like a brick and mortar strategy. We need to have virtual export incubation center, and then we need to have a physical export incubation center at different chambers in the different cities, at different universities and the technical institution in the smaller towns. Then we will. This is the process of evolution. In fact, this is the process of evolution. Slowly and gradually, we will. The moment we start training and giving an idea to the at the root level, automatically things will start improving, and our product start with the manufacturer start developing or producing the product as per the international standard.
Right. So, with that very informative discussion about export industry and startups and how can we grow in that, I'd like to take our discussion towards the ending. But before that, uh, please tell us about your life other than your work, or I would say that how do you like to spend your leisure time, and how do you manage between your professional life and
Yeah, I
personal life?
was. Thank you so much. I was very bad a few years back, 5 years back. I was very bad in work-life balance. But after realizing the importance, Alhamdulillah, now I'm doing lots of extracurricular activities. I'm doing mentoring. Already doing mentoring to the different startups. I have done mentoring in the LUMS also. LUMS, then there was a LUMS Entrepreneurship Center. Now it is a National Incubation Center. And then I'm also love to visit universities as a guest speaker. I have been part of. Nowadays, I'm not doing it because of my engagement, some other event. I have been part of career counseling clinics in IBA as well. I love to speak with the students. I love to speak with the young people because I really learn from them, and because it is a time to share my knowledge, whatever I have learned. I am still the student. I'm learning from others every day. Every time is a new learning. Then I start playing golf. I start having some. I bought a bike. I'm doing cycling as well nowadays, and
Right.
I have
So,
put my. Yeah, this is
so
exactly what.
before Okay, well, that's very great to know about all that. So, before ending our session, I'd like to know your kind thoughts about CxO Global Forum.
Yeah, this is this. By the way, it's $1 million question. This is the vision which have been started by Kamal Mansoor. I also spoke with him on the WhatsApp today for some other thing. It's around I think 2 years back. He called me and he asked. He invited me to join CxO Global event. In fact, the name was not finalized yet. He want to do something, and he asked me to join. I said I'm not an IT guy, but he specifically mentioned that we need diversified people. We need people
Right.
in our forum non-IT background as well. And I'm the founding member of the CxO Global. I remember in the Karachi in the office. Kamal office in the Clifton, we had the first meetup. Only I think 7 or 8 people joined us. I was part of that meeting. It is a blessing for me. And now CxO Global Forum. In fact, we have discussed about the CxO also. The global word specifically I mentioned to add it. And nowadays, like CxO Global is growing very fast. And the good part is that they are really doing some tangible things, wonderful things, which is in fact transforming the overall scenario of Pakistan. That's like recently you people are, I think now people are talking about the CxO city as well. That's again another
Right.
thing. Like Silicon Valley, I have been to see Silicon Valley, and I know the thing happened many years back in US. It is happening in Pakistan now.
All right. So, with that note, I'd like to thank you for your, for your time and all the information that you've shared with us. And once again, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Yeah, so, no, it's a pleasure, and sorry for the interruption during my conversation. Yeah,
No problem, sir. So,
thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, with that great discussion with Mr. Khokhar, we'd like to end up here, and we'll come up with another interesting guest and their insights about different things. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.